Welcome back. It's still the Breakfast on Plus TV Africa, and we'll be focusing on the Niger Delta in this particular discuss. And not too long ago, I'll just give a bit of a background. A coastal community in Bayelsa State is about to lose its main source of livelihood, which is fishing, and that is due to a gas leakage from the oil and gas exploration activity of corn oil. The people of Sangana in Brass local government area are now calling on the federal government and the international community to take action. We have a guest who will be discussing that with us, all of the issues from his community. He is Comrade Reuben Preboye. He is the chairman of the Community Development Committee of Sangana. Good morning to you, Comrade. Many thanks for joining us on The Breakfast.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Good morning. All right, so can you quickly tell us what the situation is right now? What's going on in Sangana as regards the oil spill and leakage?
All right, thank you very much, and thanks for the viewers. What is going on now? Those who left the village as at the time of this incident has not returned. Their livelihood is being greatly affected. And they are not returned just because they don't still have faith that the community is safe. I think we took some journalists back there 2-3 days back, precisely, I think it was Tuesday this week, 3 days back. They went to the Atlantic Ocean where this facility is located, and it is so unfortunate that the point where this gas, the pipe that actually busted where this gas escaped, was very visible. And it is purely man error, operator error. We thought it was a natural mistake, but we discovered that the pipe was not a new one. And very unfortunate, we have this kind of situation in this part of the world where the government does not even monitor what is going on the oil industry. If it is some climate, what will have happened? Personnel from the government should have been on board that rig. And I don't think those kind of advanced countries will allow this kind of pipe to be inserted on the ground in the name of drilling oil. I think you have some videos of that spot where the pipe burst.
All right, Comrade Preboye, sorry, let me just butt in here. I know you said something about residents fleeing away from Sangana, but would want to understand where they fled to. But in a moment, just hold that thought. We'll take this particular report to just get a clearer picture concerning what happened. It was put together by Jesse. Let's take that clip. We'll come back and talk some more.
This is Sagana community where the livelihood of the people is largely dependent on fishing. Like most communities in the Niger Delta, Sangana has abundance of natural gas and crude oil, but this is not commensurate with infrastructural development and other basic amenities. Here, the Adriatic One rig owned by Corn Oil, operators of Oil Mining Lease 59, which is located in Sagana Kingdom in Brass local government area, which spewed an unspecified quantity of gas into the environment for almost 3 weeks before the leakage was brought under control. The community leaders accuse the federal government and the management of Corn Oil of negligence and insensitivity.
But aquatic life has been damaged. Well, I can take you back to 1960, the greenhouse gas explosion in the USA and even in Chicago. There's a lot of things that happened there, and the government remedied that solution within a very short period of time. But in our case, the companies show some kind of laxity. They are not even ready.
Government is paying deaf ears to us. We are today helpless. Even Corn Oil, the parent body, has the drilling rig, refused to listen.
Particularly from the advent of Adriatic One rig to this O2 OML 59 oil field, the relationship sour. So much so that the things, the royalties and benefits that are due the community are denied. And as we speak, That rig is still alien to the minds of the people of Sangana community.
In a peaceful protest to the deep blue sea where the rig is located, a few kilometers off the shores of Sangana, the locals shut down the operations of corn oil until further notice. They are also making demands.
What we need is first relief materials, medical teams as quick as possible. Then they have to prepare a way of compensation, adequate compensation, not only compensation. When the major one happened in 1980, Texaco then paid adequate compensation and there was no issue. And Cornell has to pay adequate compensation as well.
We are using this medium to call on the government and the other mineral resources to come for our aid. And we need material, relief materials and a compensation for these things that occur in this community.
The people of Sangana are also unhappy that since the incident, a joint investigative report has not been carried out by relevant agencies of government and the operators of the rig to ascertain the level of damage. Jesse A.C., Plus TV News, Sangana.
Welcome back. This is The Breakfast on Plus TV Africa. And just before that time, of course, the report talking about the gas leakage in Sangana in Bayelsa State. We still have Reuben Preboye with us. And Reuben, please, let's talk about the damage. What is the damage? What is the level of damage and the impact that it has caused in your community? Can you quickly bring us to speed?
Okay, thank you very much. The damage is unquantified. You really cannot quantify this damage caused by this incident. No, naturally, we are fishermen. And we have been given this portion of the land by the Almighty God for the past over 400 years. And this has been our way of livelihood. Now, Adelia, who has this honor, came into Sangana by his representative back then, 1998, telling us their intention for within our territory, and we said, okay, well, it's a welcome idea, believing that it's going to be a blessing to Sangana. But looking at the issues we have faced with this same company, it is actually not a blessing, but it's a disaster. It's not a bad history we have gotten with this company. Oil leaks is almost every month. We have reported so many times, nothing is done. Now it's an obvious gas leak. And as we speak, there was a video where the media actually saw the dead fishes floating right inside the ocean, let alone the supply of Sangana. So if our livelihood is being taken off, we cannot go to fishing. We use those fishing to train our children. Now that has been cut off. So meaning damage of the next 100 years is being affected. What about how long we're still going to live on this planet Earth, inhaling this gas at this point? The irony of it, the week, somebody from the company came to Yanagwa at the instance of the Honorable Commissioner for Mineral Resources, and this young man who came from Health, Safety and Environment Department of Cornell, one Mr. Femi, told us, look at our eyeball and told us that gas is not harmful to our health. Without asking, we are composed because we are civilized people, we are exposed people. If it were to be youthful age, probably he must have seen the other side of the same Sangana people. But because we're exposed, we just ask him, we ridicule him in the first place. It's not, we ridicule him. I said, okay, young man, what is the name of that gas? If it is good for our health. They could not tell us. Is it butane, propane, or ethane, or pentane gas? Tell us the name of the gas so that we'll know whether it supports life. As far as we are concerned, we are only told that oxygen supports life. So we don't know the gas he's talking about that said is good for our health, that we have to consume it and there's nothing bad to harm us. That is the level of people we are dealing with. You are given a driver license by the federal government, and you now mistakenly hit somebody out of your own carelessness, and instead of you to rush that person to hospital to survive the person's life, what you choose to do is to look at where on your vehicle and how to fix your vehicle and move on. 1st November, this incident happened. We have not received a letter from the company or personnel from the company coming to that land, Sangana, to commiserate with us. Look, we are sorry this is what happened, and this is how we are intending to curtail or to contain this incident. We are kept in suspense, kept blind. What we only gather after some days, that they got some expert from US Halliburton guys who flew into the country and flew into the field to get the leakage stopped. So Adenuga, who refused to listen to Sangana, how did he get to know that this kind of incident has happened to his assets? And that he quickly approved some fund to hire experts from all the way US to Sangana. But that same Adenuga who approved those funds could not see the need that these people has to be relocated from that point. These people have to be given adequate relief material that will sustain them for the period of 2-3 months until this thing is brought under control. Is it because he's a Nigerian? He does not care what happened to the people of Sangana. This is very unfortunate. Can this happen in nearby Ghana? It cannot happen.
All right, Comrade. All right, Comrade Preboye, when I watched the report, something struck me that you were actually being interviewed, and you said that there had been a major, leakage or in fairness, sometime in the 80s. Since then, what has actually been done, to, cushion the effect of all of that? And just walk me through the average, daily life of resident of Sangana. Do you guys have potable water? How is the living condition daily, really?
Okay, in 1980, I was a small boy then. It was Texaco then. Major oil spillage occurred. And there was no protest, just like as you are doing. The company reasonably see the need to adequately compensate the people. And not only Sangana. Sangana is co-hosting Texaco and now Chevron alongside 8 other communities. And all these communities adequately compensated. You can visibly see what those compensations were used for in Sangana up till today. But coming to Cornell, after the first 7 years in operation in our territory, we started experiencing this leakage here and there, and they have been dismissing it as if it is not important on the adverse effect of our lives. Now look at the difference. Chevron I think, is an American company. They know the plight, how human health is important, and how environment is important to humanity, taking care of what is expected of them. And look at Cornell. First, and today is, I think, 26. 25 days ago, this kind of incident occurred. Even if they want to paint it operation equipment failure, does that remove the fact that your equipment failure has affected the people negatively? Does it remove the fact that you're supposed to enjoy freedom to life? His own business is now affecting our freedom to life. We have made him a billionaire. When Adenuga started that company, he wasn't as billionaire as today. It was from that company he now established Globalcom. He now acquired more oil blocks in Delta State, Ondo State, and Akwa Ibom State. Sagana is a parent, is the taproot of his oil wealth. Now that community is in danger, and Adenuga is not paying attention to us. Very unfortunate. We thought he's a philanthropist. Why? 2012, we had a major disaster of flood. He gave Bayelsa 100 million naira. Then just last year, he gave Nigeria government 1.5 billion, I think so, for the COVID-19. Now where he's doing business, where his business is secured, he doesn't see the need to keep these people alive, to help secure his business. Possibly people don't understand the fact that security is about the perception of those individuals at that particular moment, particular area. Army cannot secure, Navy cannot secure. If the people said, we are tired of you, they will be disturbing you, and at the end of the day, you get the result. Either way, either positive or negative. When people are comfortable with a particular process, they will be the primary security to that asset. Are you telling me if 7 or 20 Sangana people are employed into that facility, will Sangana one day pick up anger, say we want to go and disrupt operation? The answer is no. Because our people are there, they are coming to invest in the community, the money that will be paid will be recycling within the Sagana economy. Now you are bringing people from all the way outside Bayelsa and expecting us to keep quiet. That is not enough. You went further to cause disaster to us. And that disaster has dangerous effect on our lives, near and future. And when we cry out, unfortunately, the federal government probably is backing this company, because it's a black man company, we don't know, for not saying anything about this. Guess what? Somebody now go into violence against this company. I bet you all the helicopter in this Nigeria and all the gunboat in this Niger Delta will have been mobilized to Sangana within 2-3 hours' time.
Okay.
But this is 25 days. Nothing has happened. Very unfortunate.
Let's also look at this because, you know, the activities of these multinational companies have actually been ongoing for a very long time. I'd like to find out from you, as a stakeholder that you are there punitive measures that have been put up by the government against these companies to protect your communities? Because I think that it's not enough for the handout. I mean, we also know that the government is seeking 1.6 trillion naira, if I'm not mistaken, as compensation. But, you know, getting all of these handouts and these resources, is that enough? What punitive measures have been put in place to protect your communities against these companies who constantly, you know, carry out their activities at the detriment of your people?
It's under the exclusive list of the federal government. And those making laws, the National Assembly, Bayelsa has only 3 senators. 5, every other state has 3. Bayelsa has 5 House of Representatives. Some other northern state has 13, 12, 11 House of Reps members. So if our people now feel the impact and try to push some control measures as against these incessant spillages and gas leakages, because our brothers from the other part who are not actually don't care about what is happening to us, and they don't even know in reality what is happening to us, they might not support the move until these things are brought under concurrent list. We can never get this better, good legislation that will protect the interests of the communities. It is not Sangana. Today is Sangana, tomorrow, but now we have another issue happening in the nearby local government, neighboring local government, the same Bayelsa state. Guess what happened? Our incident happened a week before that one. Minister for State Petroleum, Timothy Silva, who is incidentally from branch local government and the same is surrounded by, yes, there are communities, but not as density at the Sangana town. The community surrounding that oil well, there are so many communities.
All right. I think we've sort of lost some connection there with Comrade Reuben Preboye. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
Go ahead with your thoughts.
Go ahead. Yeah.
So let me okay, just as a refresher, I'm asking, is there punitive measures? Are there punitive measures that have been put in place to protect your community as against these companies and their activities, whether they are international or they are local?
As far as
because I'm thinking, as a way of, solving the problem. So you constantly find that one would be asking, like the state government is seeking the sum of 1.6 trillion naira to actually, for compensation from these companies against these activities. Now, how long or how far can 1.6 trillion naira solve the problem? I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but I'm asking, is that enough? Because if you look at some of these companies, I'm sure they're generating so much. And, giving 1.6 trillion might not be the issue. So the point is the legal framework. I know of the Non-Stra Act establishment, but have we any kind of review of this to ensure that, okay, these laws, their legal framework to actually protect, these communities and, protect the people? And also, as much as we constantly, because if you look at China at the time, we remember where a lot of people say China was actually a poor country. But how did China get out of where, they got out of and they are where they are today, competing, with the world hegemony, that's the United States? It's via policies. So we can't have a country as Nigeria and we say we're a sovereign nation. And then we don't have policies, we don't put policies in place to favor us. Because at the end of the day, if you find out that nations come together, let's say you're the United States, I am France, and we come together, national interest should always be, paramount, will be important. So I really don't understand why up until this point, since the discovery of oil, was it talking about, this region where these companies come to explore and, take out oil and what have you at the end of the day, and then we have not been able to put up policies. In some cases, you find out that the fines that have been put out in places like 1,000 naira. Go and look at that. It doesn't make sense. In 2021, you're charging a fine of 1,000 naira and what have you. So I'm thinking that we need to move away from the lip service that we do have. But I think we have our guest back, Reuben Preboye. It's good to have you join us back. We apologize for all of that disconnection. Can you hear us now?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead. Yeah, before we left off, my colleague here asked you a question specifically about punitive measures, to just actually serve as deterrent, so all of these issues can be curbed to the barest minimum.
As I said earlier, even if they raise that 1.6 trillion naira at this moment, what will get to the community might be probably 500 million. What will finally get to the community will be far less than what is approved and put on the internet and whatever, that this amount has been approved for this purpose. That is the country we are. If we are a serious country, it has been known 26 years down the line, nobody is talking anything about it, and it is worrisome.
Okay.
Even if the colonel is not doing something that bad, what happens to the NEMA, National Emergency Management Agency? Have they been informed? Have they not been informed that this kind of disaster happened to Sangana, which is a major oil-bearing community that is hosting Cornell, co-hosting Chevron, co-hosting First ERP. Our contribution to national port is so enormous to the extent that this community has to be given special attention. We are inhaling raw gas now, not only crude oil. We are faced with two major disasters, and we needed the government at this point to quickly swing into action by probably coming to see things for themselves. Now, guess what? The gas has been stopped 2 days back. They now set up JIB to visit the site. What are they going to find? This is the country we are. When the thing was bad, you can see the two pictures. One, during that period, the first 3 days of the incident, where the gas flooded everywhere. Second, when the gas finally stopped. So if they come to that site now to carry out investigation, they will not see anything. And they will say, oh, it is actually not harmful to our health. Meanwhile, gradually we're going to be dying off. And this company with their personnel and management staff, they'll enjoy their life in Lagos. So please, we are using this opportunity to call on the federal government, especially the minister himself, which is the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Mr. President Buhari, and Silva, which is the Minister for State.
Comrade Reuben Preboye, we have to let you go at this point in time. Thank you so much, Comrade Reuben Preboye. We do appreciate you being part of the conversation, and would also like to mention, because I mean, for the want of time, there's also issue of bunkering. But would also like to get the position of corn oil. Plus TV Africa will, try to get the position of corn oil as soon as possible, as we're not able to, reach out to the relevant quarters. But as soon as we're able to do that, we also like to get your own part, of that particular story. We'll step on the brakes right now, and when we return, we'll head straight to the second conversation. Please stick around.